You want to feel important?
Yes, I want to feel important.
Oh, he wants to feel important. That's so cute. But you are important. Because
Thanks,
without you, and without these folks, and without gloving.com, we wouldn't be able to talk about Lights On today during the live stream. And today.
Are we live?
Oh, we're live.
Oh, okay. All right.
Damn, we try so hard. Just for you guys.
You're trying? That's cute.
All right. But yeah, anyways, today's super exciting because what are we going to reveal today, Teddy?
The top 4.
The final 4. Final 4.
Final 4.
Out of, I think, 200 or over 200 entries to Lights On, we chose 64 into the bracket, and now we're down to the final 4. All those final 4 are that much closer to the grand prize, and just, you know, showing who is the most skilled glover at this moment, you know, for this season. That's a big deal. Anyways, we had some insane matchups in these top 8. Things really got heated as the competition went on, but I think this round we saw Puppet versus Mega Sloth. We saw BMO versus Long. We saw T-Money versus Outlaw, and we saw Corduroy versus Paradigm. So, you know, there's a mix of heavy hitters in there. There's a mix of up-and-comers and names that are making names for themselves in this season. And there's, you know, some of your guys that are highly skilled and solid that don't quite have the recognition that, you know, they deserve, but they're definitely insane glovers. So, I mean, what do you think about the top 8 overall? Just overall, from a holistic perspective.
Overall, I really enjoyed the top 8. And I said this, I was a little disappointed in the top 16 matches overall. I mean, they were all good, but like every show in the top 8 was money. Every single one of them, and not just because Team Money's still in, but
every single one.
Every single show in the top 8 impressed me compared to that Glover's shows in previous rounds.
I disagree a little bit on a few of the shows, but there was one show that from a Glover.
I think I know what you're thinking, because I agree with you. This was the best show so far this competition. I say that with full confidence.
This was the best show so far this competition, in my opinion. I didn't use a scorecard or anything. I just watched the show, and the way I gauged it was I watched this show, and I was feeling my eyes getting closer and closer to the monitor.
Same.
Right? And then eventually I snapped out of it, and I thought to myself, it's been a long time where a show has sucked me in from end to end. Honestly, there's a lot of shows where I turn it on, and I kind of figure it out within 15 to 20 seconds, and I turn it off. No offense, but there are shows like that, right? And
he's so mean.
But this, you know, that happens with the top of the top names, and that happens with the amateurs for me. So the fact that this came from a Glover that I've been watching for a few years now, I've seen plenty of his shows. I already know he brings the heat every single time. But this one just sucked me in. You know, I turned it on expecting your typical Puppet show who always brings the heat. But I don't know, he brought something else into it that just... Let's talk about that one for one quick second.
So I think, first of all, Mega Sloth has been the king this entire tournament. He has literally mowed over every single round thus far. He did so this round too, but actually, so I take that back. You're right. I guess there've been a couple other shows of Mega Sloth that I did like a little better, but overall for the round, this one was better. But going back to Mega Sloth's show, it was really good. You know, all of his shows are so insanely good, but Puppet just brought it this time, man. Like, everything about the show was exactly what it was supposed to be, and there was a lot of twists. There was a story. I could tell what's going on. I mean, he didn't miss a single beat. There was a lot of persona exemplified there. Everything was just money. I think Puppet knew that. He knew that Mega Sloth is like the guy to beat in this tournament. So he had to come out and say, no, that's second IGC. I'm
Yeah, I felt the same way. I felt like, look, Mega Sloth threw the Mega Sloth show. Mega Sloth threw that crazy solid heat, but Puppet threw the Puppet show and then some. You know, like, I didn't know Puppet was capable of and then some part, because Puppet is just extra all the fucking time.
That's true.
You know, but anyways, that was, man, my heart's beating just thinking about that show, Puppet. I'm sorry, I just loved it so much.
I'm trying to be impartial, guys, but if you haven't watched the show, just go watch it.
Just watch it.
And then tell me if you don't feel the same way.
Yeah,
seriously.
That's just how we felt. We'll see what the scorecards say, and we'll see what the Final Four brings, but
let's talk about another match.
But before we do that, I got a special challenge for you today.
Oh my God.
You know, we spent a lot of time talking about Puppet and Mega Sloth. I'm gonna run this little 1-minute challenge. You know, you got 1 minute to talk about the matchup, but I want you to talk about each Glover, and I want you to talk about what you loved about their shows, just your general observations, but you only got a minute. And I know these top 8 shows have so much substance, and we could talk all day. We could break these shows apart all day. We could pick apart the good and the bad and the ugly and all that, whatever we want to do. But I don't like hearing you talk that much, so I'm going to limit you to a minute.
He's lying. He loves hearing me talk.
I do love this guy. But yeah, just don't look at the list. Let me tell you.
I got my own papers to show. See? I can do important things too. See?
All right.
Got papers.
Let's just talk about this real quick. You get a minute to talk. I get as long as I want afterwards to chime in.
That seems fair.
That's really fair.
Totally fair.
Trust me.
Okay, cool.
Let's talk about the first one though, and I'll tell you when to start. Corduroy versus Paradigm. Camera guy, I want you to throw a timer on the screen for 1 minute only when I say 3, 2, 1. Good? All right, it's on there.
Okay, so Corduroy's show was awesome. I loved how he put everything together. I especially the move. I always forget what this is called, but the flashlights.
The flashlights.
Yeah. I've seen that move done a lot of times. I've seen that move done a lot, but the way he did it and the combination he did in this show specifically stuck out to me. Paradigm show was good, but I'll be honest, unfortunately.
30 seconds.
Oh, really? I still have 30 seconds? Oh, okay. Paradigm show.
25.
Paradigm show was good, but honestly, I still saw him just nervous. So I don't know if it was one of those cases where he recorded like 30 takes and just couldn't pick one or something, but I don't know. It was okay, but it wasn't like. I was not as thoroughly impressed. I know he can do better.
Oh, wow. You finally didn't talk so much for once, man. Damn, that was supposed to be funny.
It wasn't funny.
I look like I really pissed him off, but who cares?
It's okay. It's all right. I'm sure
You're a champion, right?
I'm sure
Nothing phases you.
I'm sure the camera guy was clean enough to put some audience applause in the background of that, so.
We're live, man. He can't do that. Yeah. Let me talk about the Corduroy versus...
I can't hear what he's doing.
Let me talk about Corduroy versus Paradigm.
Okay.
I'll be honest. When I
love how he hold on. I love how he gives me a minute and then he's about to talk about the one match that has the TNT member because that's what's on his shirt.
It is?
I mean, not at this exact moment, but we're on a festival. TNT's on your shirt. So.
It is.
Yeah. Go ahead, continue. Go ahead, do your thing.
All right.
I'll sit back.
Okay. Can I start? Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to talk about Corduroy first. I'll be honest. Obviously, Corduroy, I've known this guy for 8 years now. I've seen his shows from the beginning till now. Obviously, he is one of the best impactors out there, and he is clearly capable of constantly throwing a solid show. With that being said, because I've seen so many, I'm extra harsh with his shows.
You're harsh on everybody.
Especially my family members in TNT, though. You know, we keep it real. Look, overall, I'm not going to disagree. It was a solid show, but what I did feel with his show was, you know, I can tell his intent was to bring new things into the show, new concepts, and all that. But where it didn't capture me was I felt like he didn't master those things. He didn't feel completely comfortable yet to throw those things. It felt like he was throwing this one new concept, but he was thinking a lot about his next step. It didn't feel like a natural, you know. And again, this is all relative. It was a very solid show, like I said, but you know, knowing Jeff Corduroy for so long, I could tell there was it was very methodical. He's already very robotic, but I felt like there's moments where he's like, what's next? You know, it's just very like, I don't know how to say it, but that's that. And then Paradigm Show, I completely agree with you as well. Overall, it just felt a little nervous to me. Not nearly as clean as Corduroy's, which is, again, very tough to even match because he's so damn precise. Overall, again, Paradigm, definitely solid show. There's a reason he's in the top 8, no doubt about it. Have I been talking for a minute yet? You're staring at me like I have been. Cool. Good thing I don't have a timer on me. But I'm done. With that said, that's my summary on that matchup. You know, you guys know where I side, but I did tear apart those two. Wasn't really too impressed with both shows, but hey.
He said he was done.
All right, I'm done. Let's move on. If you want your little minute to talk again.
Yeah, my 1 minute of fame.
Let me give that back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And scepter.
Let's talk about.
I have the talking stick now.
This is actually, I'm gonna save that one actually because I really wanna. That one's exciting, and I might give you more than a minute.
Just let's go. These people are waiting for match results, and we're
all right.
trying to be.
Outlaw versus T-Money. Camera guy, you ready to put that timer on the screen? 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So this was a really cool match for me because I love both of these guys. Obviously, T-Money is PM. Gotta have love for PM. Outlaws are one of our prospects. This was in all essence a prospect versus master match, and it was really interesting to see how it came out. I enjoyed Outlaw's ferocity, but I kind of always do, so it's a little kind of biased towards me. T-Money, I mean, there's really nothing to say about T-Money except that it's T-Money. The man has infinite angles. Everything's clean, everything's precise, everything's good. Now there was one part in the show. 15
seconds left.
Okay. There was one part in the show where I did see him kind of slip a little bit, but it was recovered well, and it didn't throw him off. He didn't reset, so it wasn't something huge. But I really enjoyed that match, and it was really hard to score.
Right on time.
Bam.
All right, I'm gonna need 5 minutes for this one. I'm just kidding. This one's actually gonna be quick.
All right. Wake me up when you're done.
All right, I will. Let me just hang out with you guys here. T-Money versus Outlaw. Honestly, I don't really have much to say about this matchup. I felt like T-Money brought your high standard T-Money show, and I felt like Outlaw brought the high standard Outlaw show. They brought, you know, when I watched shows, no surprises, shows that I would expect to see from them in a competition like this. Nothing stuck out. You know, for me, if I had to score it, these were not 30 plus shows, 30 points or plus. These are your high 20s shows. That's how I look at it. I didn't use a scorecard, just my gut telling me this. But, you know, definitely just your standard exciting matchup there. And I want to move on to this last one, because we already talked about Puppet versus Mega Sloth in the beginning. But this one I really enjoy again because you guys have heard me say it all season long.
All season what?
All season long. That was a good one, actually. That was unintentional, but pun was intended now.
Hey, okay. That's why I'm here. Got you covered.
I've just been saying, and you know me, man, I always want to cheer for the underdogs. It's kind of actually nice to see the underdogs.
I love it. I love it. I love seeing someone come in and wreck. And everybody's mad, but at the same time, it's like, dude, score it yourself.
I don't want to say everyone's mad, though. There was actually a very interesting conversation in Glover's Lounge.
I guess, yeah, everyone's a strong word.
Yeah, where someone actually broke apart the show to where it made sense to me as to why the judges scored it the way you did.
Oh, man,
and I don't want to go too deep into it, but, you know, I like that you guys are starting to think about shows in that way. That's the whole purpose of these competitions is, you know, let's not think about it from watching the show and then just saying which one's better or not, right? Like, there's another way to watch it, which is from the competitive aspect of breaking apart, you know, the presentation, the execution, the style, and everything that goes within those categories. So I really liked seeing that, and I think that's healthy debate. for gloving in general. But
I agree.
let's just jump straight into it. You know, BMO versus Long. BMO is someone that I did not know at all prior to this competition. And watching his shows, he had one of my favorite shows last round, and I think he threw a very solid show this round. Long, I mean, Long is, I think, the name that has, you know, definitely made a name for himself in this season. You know, he came in as the international glover from Vietnam, and then that was kind of his main title. And now it's kind of like, okay, he made it past top 64, past top 32, which many didn't expect. And then it's like, okay, many didn't expect him to pass top 16, and here he is in the top 8. And I know you and the judges. You know what? I'm not going to limit you to a minute on this one because I want everyone else to hear it too. I think this is an important one to talk about. BMO versus Long. Okay. All you.
So first off, I agree with you completely on what you said about BMO. Great show. You know, quality glover. He definitely deserves to be here where he is. No question about that. But again, nothing super stuck out to me. Yeah, he's clean and everything, and he did go through, you know, a good amount of concepts. But those were all. There was nothing in there that I hadn't seen somebody else throw. That's just what it is.
So to me, right away, it just sounds like he has. Honestly, to me, BMO's strong point is execution, but that is only one point. Not one point. That is only one section of the scorecard.
Absolutely, BMO has incredible execution. However, Long keeps coming up with surprises to show all of us. And he keeps coming out with new things. And you can tell that he's taking this competition very seriously, and he's got things that he's saving, you know, each video. I actually messaged him because there was a conversation in the Glover's Lounge, and he talked about how he approaches gloving a little bit. And he's a dancer. I believe he said he teaches in Vietnam, so he does have a few students. He's been tutting for, he said online today, he's been dancing for 8 years and tutting for 6. So he is no stranger to using your body to create a performance. And he's taking the approach that I think dancers should approach, or he's taking the approach that dancers should.
Dancers or glovers?
Dancers.
Dancers, okay.
Yes. He's taking the approach that dancers should. And they're using their knowledge of dance and their knowledge of creation within dance to play with the lights, right? A lot of dancers try to do gloving moves, right? They do moves that glovers do, and that's fine. You want to learn the moves, cool. But the idea of gloving is to manipulate the light trails and to manipulate yourself, you know, according to those trails through illusion. That's how you create a good gloving performance, in so many words. And Long does a really good job of that. Yeah, is he not as refined as some other people? No, he's not. But he does a better job of it than most of the people in this competition, and that's where the disconnect is. Because the fact is that there's not a lot of people that understand what makes a light show good. And even if you understand it, you may not be able to fully articulate it. Mm-hmm. So that's the articulation of it. Is he has the ability to, you know, to manipulate the lights the way that they should be manipulated. You know, and do it in a unique fashion and take that on. So that's all I want to say on that.
That's all you want to say?
That's all I want to say.
No,
keeping it short.
I definitely, I mean, I can't disagree with any of your points. I mean, the main thing I noticed was, again, BMO threw a solid BMO show. Mm-hmm. Execution on point, as usual.
Of course.
Extra clean.
Absolutely.
Extra clean, looks natural, looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong about that show. There was just nothing amazing about it.
Long's show, I agree with you. You know, you can definitely see the more performance aspect of his show. And with that said, you can see him bringing in your non-conventional moves and techniques with his gloves on, which is, to be quite honest, very refreshing. I'll be honest too, Long is not the cleanest glover by any means, but I can tell the thought process and the technique and the innovation is there. Anyways, I don't want to steal any more of your guys' time. I think it's about time that we show them who made it into the Final Four. Camera guy, throw it up. All right, guys, and that is the Final Four right there. Congratulations.
Yes, absolutely. I cannot wait until these matches. Just a reminder, Davis, Skittles, when are those videos due?
They are due this coming Sunday, September 24th, 11:59
p.m.
Pacific time. I'm not worried about you guys getting it in on time. Everyone's been so solid in getting their videos in on time. I haven't had to...
shout out to the competitors for being on time.
Yeah, I haven't had
the entire competition. Once we got past that top 64 thing, nobody missed a beat.
Nobody missed a beat. I appreciate it. I hate having to disqualify people. It sucks, but rules are rules. You guys haven't made my life hard at all. Just keep that up, and for everyone listening to that, season 2, if you do make it into that, which I'll announce soon again, just be on time. But anyways, Final Four, don't forget, due this Sunday, the 24th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. We're done.
See ya.